Arturo Castro had a dream life as a rap star in the Manhattan music scene.
I looked for the fame and the fortune. I just had to have it. It just made me more fascinated with the lifestyle.
He was first introduced to music at his local church.
I started learning rhythm, and I became fascinated with watching the drummer every Sunday, so I look forward to going to church just to watch the drummer.
When he was 12, he took a job at the church in exchange for practicing on their drums. While he worked, Arturo noticed disturbing behaviors.
I started noticing men becoming a little more too close with some of the young boys.
Soon, it would affect him personally. One Sunday morning during a service, Arturo became the target, this time by a man in the congregation.
He reached over and grabbed me, touched me inappropriately. I just started punching him as hard as I could.
The ushers quickly removed Arturo and took him to the pastor's office. He explained what happened, but the pastor thought he was lying and punished him. Arturo was heartbroken and humiliated and left the church.
I knew that I had to get out of there, and I didn't want to return to God because I didn't trust him.
Hurt by this betrayal, Arturo poured himself into music.
I was becoming so angry, but it was just an anger that just continued to build up in me, and I didn't know who to talk to.
At 15, a musician heard his music and took Arturo under his wing.
He started introducing me to more people, producers that were actually in the industry. They were willing to work with me. And I found myself in studios, which kept me out of the street a lot of times.
His career took off, and he performed all over the New York City metro area.
I was living like a rock star, and I pretty much can get anything I want as long as people think that I'm going to be famous.
Musically, Arturo had found success in New York, but he was still waiting for his big break.
Everybody around me that was doing the same thing, they were either getting production deals, writing deals, and even, record deals. But it never happened for me. I became very frustrated, and what it did was it started causing me to become even more violent and angry.
He married his live-in girlfriend, but his newfound happiness was overshadowed by tragedy. Over the next few years, his mother, father, and both grandmothers died. Devastated, Arturo took his grief out on his wife.
The first time I struck her, I had a lot of built-up anger that I didn't talk about. I took it out on her more and more. She couldn't go to work sometimes because of the abuse.
Eventually, his wife got pregnant, and the abuse stopped. Arturo was excited about having a family, but when she miscarried, he blamed her.
In my mind, I said, I'm going to go home, and I'm going to kill her. She was still on bed rest, and I remember just beating her.
His wife had finally had enough and moved out. Arturo's life became a series of parties and affairs until he was broke and alone. He became paranoid and was unable to sleep. He decided to kill himself.
I just put the gun to my head. As I did that, this voice said that, Arturo, I still love you. And as I was walking towards the door to see if somebody was in the apartment, something heavy pushed me back. There was so much noise going on. It was like screeching sound. I felt fighting. I felt the room spinning or things being destroyed. I was so afraid I didn't want to look. I kept saying Jesus, and I kept saying it faster and louder and louder. To a point, I felt like I was screaming his name. When I finally came to, I just felt a sense of peace. I felt God there with me in that room. I got down on my knees. I just started repenting and asked God to come into my life.
Arturo returned to church and began reading his Bible.
I felt God smiling at me, and there's no going back. He let me know that it's not going to be easy. But this time when you're going down this road, I'm going to be with you.
He ran into his ex-wife and asked for her forgiveness.
I had a chance to apologize because I knew I needed to.
Several years later, Arturo met his current wife, Wenda. They live in Maryland and have 4 children. With the support of his family, Arturo returned to his musical roots.
The words just started coming. I started writing songs, love songs to God. There was no question that God was calling me. I've been blessed and in awe of what's been happening.
Since then, he released a gospel album entitled Real Love, and his second album is due to be released this year.
The only person that can heal what we've been through is God. I always dreamt that there was going to be success, but I didn't dream there was going to be success in God.